Hi guys, welcome back to Quo Vadis Talk. We're not at the school, we're at St. Michael's Choir School today, and we're here with Father Andrew Taylor today, who graduated in 2011. So, hi Father, how's it going?
Very well, yourself?
Doing well, doing well.
And welcome to, the choir school anyway, not quite my own digs, but welcome to downtown Toronto.
Thank you, first time visiting here. Anyways, Father, where are you serving?
I'm here, not at the choir school, but I'm at St. Michael's Cathedral across the road. I've been here since Canada Day was my first full day here. Just serving at the cathedral as an associate pastor.
Before entering the seminary, what did you want to do?
Well, before entering the seminary, I wanted to become a priest. So I actually entered the seminary. I entered Sarah House, which was kind of acting as a philosophy seminary at the time, as soon as I graduated from high school. So for the last couple of years of high school, I definitely had the priesthood on my mind, and I applied for the seminary in my final year at Brebeuf. But before that, I was thinking about a few different things. Probably one of the strongest pulls I had was to avionics engineering. I loved engineering. I loved airplanes. I was actually in the Air Cadets, I didn't pass, but I was in flight school for a little while. And so I loved everything to do with airplanes. So I was thinking avionics engineering would be a good way to spend my life.
That's amazing. What was the happiest moment of your vacation?
I'd have to say the first masses. I was ordained with only 10 people in the cathedral. It was it was in the middle of COVID. It was a very locked down ordination. And so in the weeks following, I flew out to Calgary to visit with my family. And I had a chance just to have Mass a lot of the time in a very kind of quiet, private setting with different family members and close friends and that sort of thing. So those first few days where there was kind of an ongoing celebration, there were a lot of really special moments there.
It's amazing. So how does it feel to become like a pandemic priest? That's what they call it.
Well, a little bit weird. There's a lot less, rubbing shoulders with the people of God than I would have seen otherwise. I definitely had the easier lot. The guys who were ordained last year, they were ordained and then they went into parishes and then everything shut down. So for me, things have still been going on over the last 6 months. We've still been having masses and more or less a normal schedule, just with reduced numbers and a little bit more distance. So it's been mostly normal. I would say that the biggest thing that I've missed, though, is actually just being able to have conversations in front of the church with people, stuff like that. Okay. But it has been beautiful. Just the first 6 months of ministry have been wonderful.
That's amazing. So, being a Brebeuf alumni, what made you choose Brebeuf as your high school?
Well, my two older brothers went to Brebeuf, so I didn't really have a decision when the time came. With that said, though, I actually grew up in Aurora, which is about half an hour, 40 minutes north of Brebeuf, and I took the Viva bus every day to get to and from school, and it was about an hour door to door. But I probably still would have picked Brebeuf as a school anyway, because in my home parish, one of the teachers, the chemistry teacher, Mr. Krebs, was actually a member of the parish. His sons went to Brebeuf, and they were friends of the family. And then we had a few other people who were connected with the school in the parish. And so I'd heard a lot of very good things about it. I heard that there was a good academic focus on the science, technology, mathematics sort of departments, which appealed to me for sure. And just everything that I heard about it seemed to be very positive overall. And so I always, even when I was going there in grade 9, even though I had no say in the matter at all, I looked forward to it because I'd heard so many good things from my older brothers and from other people.
Did you join any clubs at Brebeuf?
Not many. I think I mentioned I was in Air Cadets, and because that was in Newmarket and I was living in Aurora, I didn't get too involved, but I did get involved in my last year or two with the Brebeuf Youth Ministry, which really had its beginning in my 4 years there under the auspices, especially of Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Guy, and Mr. Gregoris, those three. So those three teachers, who I think all of whom, they're all still there, yeah. Really did a lot of work with my grade, and so the youth ministry, when I graduated, I think had over 100 students in it. So it was actually one of the largest clubs at the time. But apart from that, nothing else. I think I signed up for robotics once, but never showed up.
You have any favorite subjects?
Well, I mentioned that I was very interested in avionics. So you could probably guess computer engineering, computer programming, and then I enjoyed music, especially just because of the wonderful teachers. But I'd say especially those things to do with programming and engineering. Those were some of my favorites. Religion, of course.
So, question: do you like the cafeteria cookies?
Oh, of course, who doesn't? Oh, and she might not be there anymore, but when I was there, there was a wonderful woman named Rosa, who was just an absolute delight. Anyway, sometimes she would give me free cookies. But yes, I love the cafeteria cookies.
So how did Brebeuf help you discern your vocation?
In a few ways. I'd say really one of the biggest things was actually just having the chapel there on the third floor. I would, especially in my last couple of years as I started discerning, I'd spend time during my lunch breaks just going upstairs, going into the silence in our Lord's presence in the Blessed Sacrament for a few minutes. And so just spending that time in the silence allowed the vocation to deepen, I'd say, in a lot of ways. I also had the really powerful witness of a lot of very good teachers, of course. The teachers in the Brebeuf Youth Ministry. But also, there were a number of other teachers in, the most random of subjects, like my sociology teacher, my mathematics teacher. As I looked at them, I recognized, even though they didn't really have anything to do with religion courses, and they didn't talk too much about the religious side of things, I recognized that they were people of faith. And it was often in a very quiet way, but in a way that you could tell really guided the way they lived their lives. What got them up in the morning, what kept them going. And so just seeing that witness of faith in all the teachers gave me a good appreciation for the dignity and the beauty of the priesthood. It's a marvelous vocation, especially because it works so much in the lives of these people of faith. And it seeks to foster that faith, to help people kind of have stability in their faith. And I saw the benefit of that in so many of my teachers. And so it gave me a very clear sense of purpose as I was going into the priesthood.
So where were you when God called you to the priesthood?
In a retreat center named Cedar Crest, which is run by Opus Dei. It's north, kind of around Orangeville, in that neck of the woods. Anyway, I was up there with just a few other guys on a high school men's retreat, run by one of the Opus Dei priests, Father Chris Braun. And it was that moment. We watched a movie one night on the life of John Paul II, and it was looking at his example, seeing the way he represented Jesus Christ to all the people around him, the way he worked with people coming from all different walks of life, including some people kind of with very serious moments of conversion in their own life. Anyway, just seeing how he was this representation of Jesus Christ to all of them. I was up there on retreat that weekend, so again, in the silence, and I heard a call at that point. Would you be willing to go and do the same thing?
That's very beautiful. Do you have any tips for people who are discerning a vocation?
Spend time in prayer, definitely. If it's a vocation, then it's coming from Jesus Christ, and we encounter Jesus Christ, especially in the Blessed Sacrament, but in prayer, just in general. And then I'd say beyond that, you have some very good teachers there. Some of whom were there in my day. They're definitely good men to go and talk to. They were able to give me a little bit of a sense of direction and just to give me some recommendations and encouragement when I needed it. And I value the work that they did for my own vocation to this day. And I know that they would do the same today to anyone else who came to them.
Well, thank you, Father, for joining us in this Quo Vadis talk.
Very well.
We're very lucky to have you here.
It's good to meet people from my old high school again.
So that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope to see you again in the next one.